Going to be
very interesting.
Yeah.
Dricus is fucking scary. That's a guy who's so big for 85.
The way he looked against I didn't give him a fucking chance against Robert Whittaker, and boy was I wrong.
Well, also that's after he got his DVT surgery, which I think, it's a big factor.
Yeah,
being able to breathe out of your nose.
If you can't breathe, you can't fight.
Yeah, but it's like Dricus looks awkward when he fight. He moves different, but that movement and that awkwardness makes him difficult to time. It's like his timing is off.
Yeah,
and if you don't have anybody that can imitate that kind of stutter step motion that he does,
he fights weird.
Yeah, it's deceptively technical. Deceptively.
It's his style. You can't say it's wrong. That's how he fights, and it works. And he's you can tell he's strong. I think he's going to come in and really try to put a hard grappling pace on Sean.
Dricus is a fucking animal,
That's
dude.
a tough motherfucker.
He's a fucking animal.
That's a
holy
tough
shit
fucking guy.
I was saying that those punches, even though he's exhausted, you can't be in those exchanges. You're gonna get clipped. If you get clipped, you're in real trouble. Fuck, he got hit with those big right hands, man. He got rocked with those right hands.
God, this makes me feel like...
From showing raw power in the cage to releasing sharp new training clips, Dricus Du Plessis has been catching eyes, especially Joe Rogan's. When DDP's latest footage dropped, Joe didn't hold back. He compared Dricus to some of the UFC's biggest names and raised some interesting points about what sets him apart. So, what exactly did Joe see? Let's break it down.
And that, man, Dricus is fucking scary. The way he beat the fuck out of Robert Whittaker, who saw that coming? Especially after Whittaker and Adesanya had a very close second match. And then he's so big, dude.
He hits so hard.
Every time I shake his hand, I'm like, how the fuck are you 185 pounds?
Yeah.
He looks like a heavyweight.
Yeah. And now you give that guy confidence after you beat a guy like Robert Whittaker, who was always the guy with Izzy's not champ, Whittaker's the fucking guy, and he's starched him.
Joe started off by making a pretty bold statement. He said if he had to place a bet right now between Dricus and Khamzat Chimaev, he'd lean toward Dricus. And that's a big deal considering how much hype has followed Chimaev around. But Joe wasn't just going off feelings. He mentioned that when it comes to Khamzat, there are still too many question marks. He's explosive, no doubt, but that doesn't always equal long-term dominance.
And that's why I think DDP has a good chance.
We'll see. I'm very interested to see who prevails.
I think people don't understand when you're in there and you got a guy that never fucking takes a step backwards. It
and doesn't
throws
get tired.
you off. You never can plan.
Right.
So you're not hitting your power shots. You're not doing the damage that you would if you were dictating. You're not going on your terms when you're going backwards the whole time. And that's why I think DDP has a good chance, because he's going to fight for that center to walk forward.
We've seen him being as exhausted as anybody can be in a third round. This is a 5-rounder. Bring your first round. I am going to meet you in the middle and we are going to wrestle. We can wrestle that first round, the whole first round. And then we come out in that second round and we'll see what we feel like. And we can wrestle you have around a minute left in that second round, and then we're going to fight my fight. Then we're going to wrestle on my terms, and then we're going to strike on my terms.
Rogan brought up how Khamzat is known for charging in and getting a hold of his opponent from several feet away, forcing chaos immediately. That's worked on some fighters, but not on everyone. Against Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns, for example, Khamzat couldn't bulldoze his way to victory. Joe pointed out that Usman might have been past his prime, yet still managed to go the distance. That says a lot. So Joe sees Dricus as a guy who might be more durable and composed in those intense situations.
See, I would give DDP the advantage over Khamzat right now. That's a bet on it.
It's hard to say.
It's hard.
We don't know what happens.
There's so many question marks. We don't know.
Khamzat just shoots from 15 feet away and gets a hold of your
but
legs.
But I look at Kamaru. He didn't do that to Kamaru Usman. He didn't do it to Gilbert Burns. We go in the third, fourth, and fifth.
He gave Usman for the first 3 rounds a nightmare. He was
gassed out,
down.
but he couldn't finish him. That's an older Usman.
That's true.
That's not a vintage Usman. Up to 85.
Usman's a world champion, and the third round, Usman did what a world champion champion does. He rallied, and then Usman's fucking dangerous
You know
standing
who
up.
else the
He
world
started landing
champion?
some good shots.
DDP.
Yep.
And he's bigger.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
you look at
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert too.
Before that
Gilbert,
fight,
Gilbert weathered the storm, and then
Correct.
he gave him hell.
Dana White confirms Khamzat Chimaev is next.
He also explained why middleweight is an important factor here. Khamzat moved up to 185 to avoid draining weight cuts, which seemed like a smart move. But when he fought Usman at that weight, he still gassed out. Joe noticed that. He said a lot of people expected Khamzat to be stronger and more efficient at middleweight, but instead, he slowed down as the fight went on, and that's something Dricus doesn't seem to struggle with. In fact, DDP's gas tank is one of his underrated strengths.
In their prime,
He was taking him
DDP.
down decisively.
Who was
though. He was
Khamzat
outright
supposed to fight? That was a last-minute replacement. Was Usman? Who
Nate
was
Diaz.
Khamzat?
And then they put in.
That's right.
And then they put in
That was-
Kevin Holland.
That would have been horrible.
That would have been
bad.
Yeah,
That would have been
The
horrible.
UFC was like, we're getting backlash.
That would have been.
We're getting some backlash here. Let's Kevin, you down? He's like, I guess.
That would have been crazy.
Styles make fights, and you never seen Dricus fight a good wrestler, and Khamzat's one of the best.
And you got to think his endurance is probably going to be better at 85 than it was at 70 because of the cut.
Yeah.
For Khamzat, it's like 85 is really where he should have been all along.
But again, he gassed out against Usman. That was at 85.